Some people keep bees for honey. Adam Clay keeps them for revenge. This is not your average gardening grandpa. This man turns honey into homicide. Welcome to The Beekeeper, a film about a quiet man who will burn your house, your company, and your entire family tree if you steal from the wrong person. This is MoviezRecap. Hit subscribe before Clay notices you didn't. Eloise Parker is a kind schoolteacher who runs a small charity, rescues stray animals, and believes that people are mostly good. She rents the garage of her house to Adam Clay, a quiet tenant who seems content with a simple life. Clay tends bees, collects honey, repairs equipment, and keeps to himself. People in the neighborhood call him polite, a little old-fashioned, the kind of man who remembers birthdays and mends fences. No one thinks he used to be something else, because he is very good at being invisible. One morning, Eloise opens an email that looks official and urgent. It asks her to verify the charity's account details. The message is precise, professional, and convincing. She clicks the link. $2 million vanish in a single transfer. Most of it belonged to the charity. Within days, the weight of the loss crushes her. The donations she counted on are gone. The families she tried to help will be left unserved. Eloise is devastated. She takes her own life in the quiet house where she lived and trusted. Adam Clay finds the body. He's calm. He's not hysterical. He kneels and examines, then picks up something small that fell from a pocket. For a man who appears to be a beekeeper, his hands are steady in ways that feel purposeful, not accidental. The police arrive. Eloise's daughter, Verona Parker, an FBI agent, leads the initial investigation. She is grieving, and the grief makes her sharp. Verona questions Adam. He is polite and cooperative. He has tenancy papers, a routine, an alibi, and no obvious motive. The death is ruled a suicide, and Adam is released, but Verona is not satisfied. She knows the scammers they chase are slick, sophisticated, and ghost-like. She tells her partner that this criminal network has slipped through their fingers for years. Adam says nothing. He walks home and tends his bees like a man who hears a different kind of buzz. After the funeral, Adam opens a hidden compartment in his garage. He extracts an old phone and dials a number that is not in any public directory. He speaks one sentence into the receiver. It's time to protect the hive. The phrase is simple, but behind it sits an entire past. Adam Clay is not who people think. He is a retired operative of a clandestine group known as the Beekeepers, a ruthless, efficient network that once handled messy cleanups the government could not handle openly. The Beekeepers have rules and a code, and one of those rules is that you do not steal from the vulnerable. Adam travels to an address provided by the Beekeepers. It is a call center named UMD. Inside, lines of workers dutifully execute scams, careful social engineering, polished scripts designed to prey upon trust. Adam walks in like a man checking inventory. He uses a beekeeper's tool, a smoker, to disrupt the air and create controlled chaos. Phones drop, employees scatter, monitors flicker. He moves quietly and deliberately. Then he lets fire and fury complete the disruption. The building burns. There is a message in the smoke. Mickey Garnett, who runs UMD, calls his boss Derek Danforth, a wealthy executive with ties to politically powerful people. Derek is calm on the phone. He has layers of protection, layers of launderers and shell companies, legal cages built to trap anyone who tries to reach him. He orders Mickey to send men. Mickey sends thugs. They hunt Adam. They follow him to his garage. Adam fights, precise and ruthless. He kills most of them like someone removing wasps from a hive. He spares Mickey long enough to cut off fingers, a terrifyingly symbolic punishment for a man who used his hands to steal. He leaves Mickey broken. He makes sure Mickey's fear will spread. Derek panics and calls Wallace Westwild, a former CIA director who now heads private security for Danforth Enterprises. Wallace knows how to mobilize muscle quietly. He tells Derek that the man they are chasing is dangerous in ways they do not understand. He describes Adam Clay's past, how a beekeeper is trained to be invisible until he chooses not to be. Derek insists on more force and better defenses. He's arrogant and believes that his money can buy certainty. The CIA gets involved. They send whoever they can spare to contain the situation and to try to protect the assets tied to these scams. The Beekeepers as an organization decide to remain neutral publicly, but individuals within the group still have loyalties to one another. They dispatch an operative to stop Adam, but Adam is not the same man he was before. The newcomer ends up dead. Adam sets a gas station alight during the conflict, symbolic and devastating, and the message is clear. the hive retaliates without mercy. Meanwhile, Verona and her partner Matt observe patterns. Clay's digital thumbprint is untraceable. There are no records to his name in government databases. He effectively does not exist. The police realize the target is not random. The investigators uncover the hub of the operation, 9 Points Center, a global call center network that coordinates scams across continents. A machine of deception and profit, whose profits lubricate an ecosystem of influence. 9 Points is connected through front companies and shell accounts to Danforth Enterprises. Derek is not only a scam boss, he is someone whose reach extends into the highest levels of power. The FBI prepares a sting. Wallace hires ex-Special Forces personnel to guard 9 Points. The FBI deploys SWAT teams. Derek refuses to evacuate his employees, stubborn that day-to-day operations cannot stop for threats, convinced his legal bubble will protect him. Adam moves like a storm. He infiltrates 9 Points with methods that are efficient and terrifying. He disables the building's defenses, overpowers SWAT, and interrogates the manager until the manager names Derek Danforth. That name forms a link that Verona and her team cannot ignore. Derek's family is entangled in government, and Derek's money may have been used in ways that reach into the White House. Verona uncovers the worst part. Derek is not merely a wealthy executive. His mother, Jessica Danforth, is the President of the United States. The implications explode outward. If Derek's thefts funded the president's campaign, then the corruption is not confined to a building on the outskirts of town. It is political and explosive. The deputy director authorizes full resources. The FBI operates with unprecedented freedom. The Secret Service, the CIA, and private contractors move like chess pieces around the potential exposure. Wallace urges Derek to hide at the president's seaside estate, trusting Secret Service protection to shield him. Derek takes refuge inside the mansion and hides beneath a canopy of official protection. But safety built on lies is always fragile. Clay tracks Derek to the estate. He modifies the delivery truck, slips beneath it, and rides as cargo past checkpoints. He emerges as a Secret Service uniformed agent, blending into the crowd of chaos he creates. Explosions outside distract the guards, guests are evacuated. In the confusion, Adam walks through the party as if he belongs there, his presence quiet and inevitable. Inside the mansion, the president learns the truth. Her son used stolen money to boost her campaign. She contemplates confession, the public truth, the end of a career built on fraudulent funds. Derek cannot accept responsibility. He panics, lashes out at anyone who could expose him, and when the deputy director confronts him, Derek shoots him in panic. He takes his mother hostage in the moment of maximum crisis. A son whose greed has become monstrous. Adam tears through the mansion with the same precision he brought to the call centers. He fights mercenaries, kills an overconfident hired killer who claimed to have once killed a beekeeper, and proves how little some people know about the men they hunt. He disables Wallace, breaks his fingers to make him less effective, and leaves him alive with the memory of what he failed to prevent. Adam makes his way to the president's office, where Derek aims a gun at his mother. The confrontation is raw and immediate. A son's desperation, a mother's shame, and a man who has no time for arguments. Adam fires one lethal shot. Derek is dead. Verona arrives with her team. She has a clear shot at Adam, the man they have chased across the country. She has both the law and the training on her side, but she lowers her gun. After watching the devastation and hearing the stories of victims whose lives were ruined, she sees a shape of justice not fully described by statutes. She realizes that Adam's revenge, while violent and illegal, targeted those who build a system to profit from other people's trust. She drops her weapon. She makes a choice that changes everything. Adam nods and disappears into the sea where he had planned his escape. He had hidden scuba gear on the beach earlier as a contingency. He swims away and melts back into anonymity. The story's final beats reflect on what happened. Adam Clay was not a monster born in the garden. He was a man formed by a system that allowed exploitation to flourish unchecked. He had once been a beekeeper, trained to be invisible, and when the people he cared for were harmed, he returned to the role he had once renounced. The Beekeepers as an organization remain a shadow in the background, a reminder that when institutions fail, other forms of order sometimes assert themselves. The film does not present simple answers. It asks whether violent retribution can ever be justice, and whether those who protect the law can also recognize when the law does not protect everyone. Across the film, small details linger. The buzzing of bees becomes a motif for focus and inevitability. Hive metaphors thread through the story. Workers exploited for the benefit of a few, honey turned into currency, and guardians who will defend the hive at any cost. The movie uses action and spectacle to critique a world where scams are industrialized, where the wealthy can insulate themselves through influence, and where truth is bogged down by power. There are quieter moments that matter. Eloise's gentle life shows the human cost of digital fraud. Verona's grief gives the narrative emotional grounding. Adam's calm reveals the long preparation beneath the violence. Derek's arrogance shows how entitlement can mutate into criminality when funds and power combine. Wallace is the complicated guardian who miscalculates and pays for it. The one-legged mercenary is a cautionary figure, representing those who try to profit off violence without understanding its nature. The movie's humor is dark and sharp at times, thrown like a flicker of light into a storm. Lines about corporate arrogance, about the way Wall Street euphemisms sanitize crime, produce a grim chuckle. The contrast between polished boardrooms and the ruins of victims' lives is intentionally jarring. The film uses these moments to remind the audience that where comedy exists, it often masks pain. At the core, The Beekeeper is a thriller, a cautionary tale, and a meditation on vengeance and accountability. It asks whether a single man's fury can expose a system and whether that fury can lead to something like restorative action. The final image leaves us with ambiguity. Adam swims away, the seas swallow him, and the hive remains. The bees continue to work, the honey still grows, and somewhere in the margins, people keep trying to do the right thing. So next time you receive an email that promises urgent verification, or a free promise that seems too good to be true, remember the lives hidden behind a click. Remember Eloise, who trusted and lost. Remember Verona, who sought law and felt the limits of what it could do. And remember Adam Clay, who kept bees not for sweetness, but to protect something he believed could not wait for the slow machinery of justice. Because if justice had a flavor, it would taste like honey. Subscribe for more recaps and protect your inbox. The Hive notices everything.